The story begins with a young man who, during his duty, was casually killing time instead of working, but then a strange and mysterious signal appeared on his system. Surprised. Seeing this, he immediately called his boss. At first, the boss was quite angry, but as soon as he heard that signal, shocked, all his sleepiness vanished because it wasn't an ordinary signal, it was an alien signal coming from space. At first glance, it seemed like humans had finally detected aliens, but when the signal's distance was measured, everyone was stunned because it was coming from around the moon, roughly 370 kilometers away. Initially, no one believed this, but it soon became clear that the aliens were really heading toward Earth. The situation was so serious that the team skipped breakfast and rushed straight to inform the Department of Defense, but the information they received there scared everyone even more. The investigation revealed that the alien spaceship's width was more than 500 kilometers. Such a massive ship had never been seen before in human history. This information soon reached the highest officials. By the time the president was informed, the massive ship had already started splitting into different parts. Several smaller ships were emerging from inside it, but no one knew what their actual purpose was. All that was known was that they were going to reach Earth's atmosphere within the next 25 minutes. The president, too, had never faced such a situation before, so he immediately decided to call a press conference. But by then, the weather had started changing in different parts of the world. Wherever these flying saucers reached, the entire sky there started turning yellow. Within moments, news channels around the world began live coverage of this event because such a sight had never been seen before in human history. Meanwhile, the military wanted to find out the aliens' real intentions by any means, so they sent a peace aircraft toward them for negotiation. At first, everything seemed normal, but as soon as the aircraft got close to them, sudden, intense flames engulfed it, and the aircraft turned to ash in an instant. When this news spread like wildfire throughout the world, officials had to come forward to calm people down. They repeated the same useless lines: stay calm, don't panic, and don't go outside unnecessarily. But the situation was now out of control because those mysterious flying saucers were heading toward densely populated areas like New York's city center. The most frightening thing was that directly beneath every spaceship were several major cities. Although no one knew what the aliens actually wanted, a TV engineer named David had already guessed their real intentions. When the alien ships first appeared, he had already noticed some hidden patterns in the TV signals. He realized that these repeating signals were gradually decreasing, meaning this wasn't a normal signal, but a countdown signal. David estimated that the aliens were preparing for some major operation. According to his calculations, only 6 hours remained before this countdown ended. After that, something was going to happen that would shake the entire world. Although David had figured out the right thing, no one was willing to believe him. He realized he now needed to get this information to some senior official. Luckily, his ex-wife Connie worked at the White House, so David immediately called her. But as soon as he started talking, Connie felt that he was once again coming up with some useless theory. So she hung up the phone without hearing him out completely. Seeing this, David flared up in anger, but he had no time to waste, so he immediately took his father along and set off toward the White House. Because of his father's identity, they were granted permission to enter. After this, Connie also arranged a meeting for David with the president. He was given only 2 minutes, but in those very 2 minutes, David explained the entire matter. According to him, the aliens were using human communication satellites to continuously send commands to all their small UFOs. He had been analyzing the data from those very alien signals for a long time, and the result that came up in front of him left him stunned. He was fully convinced that within the next 28 minutes, the aliens were going to take some major action. Meanwhile, the military's communication team had reached near the spaceship with helicopters. They tried to make contact by switching on a huge light. Just then, suddenly, a part of that massive spaceship slowly started opening. Everyone seated in the command room felt that perhaps the aliens wanted to communicate with them. But the very next moment, a terrifying laser beam emerged from the spaceship and blew up both helicopters in midair in an instant. Now everyone understood that the aliens' intentions weren't good at all. As soon as David's words proved true, chaos erupted throughout the White House. Within minutes, emergency protocols were implemented, and everyone got busy preparing to evacuate. The president and senior officials had special private jets available to escape. But on the other side, millions of ordinary people were still stuck on the streets. Meanwhile, people who weren't taking this threat seriously still felt that perhaps the aliens hadn't come to harm humans, but they had no idea at all that as soon as the countdown ended, the biggest attack in human history would occur. Time's up. Suddenly, the lower part of the spaceship slowly started opening. People standing below couldn't understand what was about to happen. Then an intense light started emerging from inside it. The very next moment, that destructive beam came down and destroyed an entire building in a single strike. Stampedes broke out everywhere. Everyone started running to save their lives, but this destruction gave no one a chance to recover. Before anyone knew it, beams started falling one after another over major cities, and massive buildings collapsed in explosions within moments. People who were trying to flee, along with their helicopters, got caught in the blasts. Within minutes, the entire city turned into a sea of fire. The power of that attack was many times greater than any nuclear explosion. By morning, the entire city had been destroyed. There was only rubble all around, and no trace of humans remained. It had now become clear that the aliens hadn't come for peace talks. So without delay, the president ordered a counterattack. Within a short time, hundreds of American fighter jets reached the sky. Without wasting any time, the pilots locked their missiles onto the spaceships, and as soon as the commander's order came, they fired them one by one. Everyone in the control room held their breath, eyes fixed on the screen. They were fully confident that this attack would show the aliens that humans wouldn't give up so easily. But just as the missiles were about to hit the spaceship, suddenly a mysterious shield activated around it, and all the missiles upon hitting it became completely ineffective. Seeing this, the ground slipped from under everyone's feet. They had no idea at all that there was an invisible shield around the spaceship that was so strong that even humanity's most advanced missiles couldn't damage it at all. Seeing the situation worsening, the commander immediately ordered all pilots to take their aircraft upward to avoid any mishap. But at that very moment, thousands of small UFOs emerged from inside the massive spaceship. They attacked with such tremendous speed that several fighter jets were destroyed in midair the moment they collided with them. When American pilots tried to attack those small UFOs, they discovered that the same powerful shield surrounded them too, which no human weapon could penetrate. The result was that the battle became completely one-sided, and before anyone knew it, several fighter jets were destroyed in an instant. Although the order to retreat had been given, getting out safely was still extremely difficult because the alien UFOs kept attacking them continuously. In such a situation, when Will and his companion somehow tried to evade them and escape, two alien ships latched onto them. Although Will and his companion were ace pilots, escaping the alien UFOs was proving difficult even for them. To avoid the locking system, they had to fly their jets extremely close to the ground. But due to the continuous risky maneuvers and high-speed flying, Will's companion couldn't withstand the pressure, and he too eventually fell victim to the aliens. After this, the alien swarm also started targeting nearby military bases and air bases, due to which several airports and runways were completely destroyed. Meanwhile, Will was somehow trying to shake off the alien UFOs. Even though he had no way to shoot them down, he knew how they could be trapped. Then suddenly his eyes fell on a massive rock standing in front of him, and a dangerous idea came to his mind. As soon as the pursuing UFO got extremely close to him, Will suddenly deployed his parachute and jumped out of the aircraft. Before the alien sitting in the UFO could understand anything, the empty jet collided with the rock. The alien UFO coming from behind also couldn't change direction and crashed straight into the rock at full speed. Finally, after a lot of effort, Will managed to shoot down that alien UFO. After this, his confidence soared sky high. Fearlessly, he approached the wreckage and opened the UFO's door himself with his own hands. In this way, he probably became the first human to see a live alien this closely. But now his aircraft was in no condition to fly, so he had to drag his parachute and walk back. Luckily, he spotted several vehicles a little distance away and finally got a ride. Meanwhile, on the other side, the president too had reached a mysterious place, Area 51. Viewed from above, it looked like just a normal military base, but underground, secret research was being conducted on aliens. The shocking thing was that even the president himself hadn't known about this. As soon as he arrived there, he met Dr. Okun. Then he learned that America had captured an alien ship around 15 years earlier. At first, scientists kept examining it for a long time, but no one could understand its advanced technology. But recently, that ship's power system had switched on by itself. Although scientists still didn't fully understand its complete technology, they had at least figured out how the ship flew. After this, Dr. Okun took him to the alien that had been captured years ago. Although it was no longer alive during their examination, scientists learned a shocking fact that these aliens didn't use voice or language, but instead communicated directly through mind-to-mind telepathy. However, as evidence, they only had samples of dead aliens. But at that very moment, Will brought a live alien to the base after capturing it. As soon as this news spread, chaos erupted throughout the entire research center. For Dr. Okun, this was like a dream come true. He immediately had the alien examined and decided to remove its helmet. As soon as the helmet started being cut open, it was revealed that the part visible on the outside was actually an extremely strong suit. Seeing this, no one could understand how Will had managed to knock it unconscious with just one punch. But during this, no one noticed that the alien had regained consciousness. As soon as the doctor saw its real face, suddenly Dr. Okun came under its control. Screaming sound, Slowly, the alien started coming out of its suit. Its real body wasn't very large, but it was far more cunning and dangerous than humans. As soon as it regained consciousness, it created chaos throughout the entire lab. The doctors wanted to flee to save their lives, but they had no chance to escape. Within seconds, the entire lab turned into a field of death. By the time the president and senior military officials arrived there, the entire research center had been badly destroyed. Only thick smoke could be seen everywhere. Within a short time, everyone understood that Dr. Oken wasn't in his own consciousness. Rather, the alien was somehow controlling his body and speaking to the humans. The president saw this as the right opportunity. He hoped that through dialogue, this fight could be avoided. So he asked the alien what exactly it wanted from humans. What do you want from us? As soon as he said this, it started taking over the president's mind. Seeing this, everyone present panicked, and the very next moment, the guards, without any delay, sprayed it with bullets relentlessly. Within seconds, the alien collapsed there. When the president regained consciousness, he revealed something extremely frightening. He said he now knew the alien's real purpose. Actually, the alien's telepathy worked both ways. When they connected with someone, both could read each other's minds. This was the reason that while controlling the president, it had also read his mind. The president explained that these aliens weren't residents of any single planet. They wandered from one world to another like locusts. Wherever they found a developed planet, they would attack it, then use its resources until nothing remained, after which they would move on to the next planet. Now, their eyes were on Earth. Hearing this, everyone understood that humans had very little time left. Forced by circumstances, the president had to give permission for a nuclear attack. Still, everyone harbored a fear that if even nuclear weapons turned out useless against their shield, humans would have no way left to survive. Soon, America's best fighter jet reached directly in front of the alien spaceship. Moments later, a nuclear missile was fired at it. Everyone in the control room held their breath, watching the screen. They hoped that this time the aliens' defeat was certain, but when the explosion occurred, the scene that emerged shattered everyone's hopes. Despite such a devastating attack, the alien shield rendered the entire attack ineffective. The spaceship didn't even get a single scratch. Now things had reached a point where no one had any plan left. It seemed Earth's end was near. Meanwhile, David's research had also proven a complete failure, so he was trying to cope with himself by drinking. Seeing this, his father too became worried. He tried to console David and said that if no solution was being found, there was also no benefit in stressing himself out this much. Hearing this, a brilliant idea suddenly struck David's mind. He immediately gathered everyone in one place. Then he told an officer to place a can of Coke on top of a UFO and fire at it. As everyone expected, as soon as the shot was fired, the UFO's shield rendered it ineffective. No one was surprised seeing this, but still, no one understood David's actual plan. Then David typed something on the computer and asked the officer to fire again. This time, as soon as the bullet hit the can, it bounced off into the air. Seeing this, everyone present was stunned. They couldn't understand how exactly this happened. Then David explained that even though the aliens' technology was thousands of years ahead of humans, their entire system worked like a digital network. And just as a computer network malfunctions entirely as soon as a virus enters it, similarly, he had uploaded a virus into this UFO's system. This was the reason its shield had automatically deactivated. David actually wanted to prove that the alien system could also be hacked. After this, he revealed his actual plan. He wanted to upload this very virus into the main system of the alien mothership, because once the virus reached there, it would automatically spread to all UFOs and spaceships connected to the network, and as soon as all their defense shields shut down simultaneously, humans would get a chance to attack them. But now the biggest question was, who would take the risk of entering the alien mothership? Then Will stepped forward and said he was ready to carry out this mission, but the alien spaceship that was to be used for this mission had crashed about 15 years earlier, and no one knew whether it was still in flying condition or not. To find out, David asked for the spaceship's clamps to be removed. As soon as the last clamp was removed, suddenly the entire spaceship started floating in the air on its own. Seeing this, it was clear that the spaceship was completely fine. Without delay, the president prepared a global counterattack plan. He immediately sent alerts to the air forces of Russia, China, India, and several other countries so that all of them could attack together at once. Meanwhile, a farmer also arrived there. He wasn't a pilot, but he still wanted to join this fight because years ago the aliens had kidnapped him and now he wanted to settle his old score with them. Meanwhile, the president was about to give his most passionate speech right before the attack, and the most special thing was that it was Independence Day that very day. Addressing people around the world, he said that today all of humanity stands on one single front. This battle isn't for any one country, one flag, or one place. This time, the danger looms over the entire earth. He appealed to people to forget all their old grudges and unite to face the enemy. That passionate speech filled the soldiers with renewed enthusiasm, and everyone got ready for the final battle. Meanwhile, Will and David were sitting in the cockpit of an alien ship for the first time, but right before takeoff, a small mishap occurred between the two. Will engaged the command ship in reverse and, without delay, flew the alien ship rapidly toward the sky. He was enjoying flying the alien ship so much that he started performing various stunts in the air, which left David's heart in his mouth. After a while, both reached near the alien mothership. As they got closer to it, the ship automatically switched into autopilot mode. After this, they entered inside the mothership. Along the way, they saw several astonishing sights. Finally, they reached the mothership's control area. There, thousands of small alien ships were standing together. The entire scene looked like some massive space station. To hide their identity, David very carefully closed the ship's window so the operators present there wouldn't notice them. Then, as soon as he got the right opportunity, he began his plan. He immediately opened his computer and quietly started uploading the virus into the alien mothership system. Within a short time, the virus reached the system, causing a malfunction to begin inside the mothership. Seeing this, it became clear that David's virus had started doing its job. Meanwhile, as soon as this news reached Earth, the military, without wasting a single moment, launched its counterattack. Fighter jets from around the world simultaneously swooped down on the alien ships. This time, things weren't like before, because due to the virus, the alien shields had completely shut down. Then the president, who had once been an Air Force pilot, made the very first attack. Within a short time, dozens of fighter jets together began raining down missiles, causing massive damage to the alien spaceships. Seeing the situation worsening, thousands of UFOs also jumped into the fight. But this time, the battle was evenly matched. Because the shields had disappeared one after another, several alien ships started getting destroyed in mid-air explosions. Still, the aliens' numbers were extremely high. Within a short time, they started launching indiscriminate attacks on different cities. But humans gradually started running out of missiles and ammunition, while the joint ship hadn't suffered much damage yet. In such a situation, things once again started looking like they were going against humans. Then that same farmer named Russell stepped forward, who always claimed that years ago the aliens had kidnapped him. He decided that he would blow up the spaceship's power source. But luck didn't favor him here either, because right at that moment, his aircraft's launch system malfunctioned and the missile got stuck right there. But Russell didn't give up. He had already come prepared, as if wearing his own shroud. For his family, for Earth, and for revenge, without hesitating, he flew his aircraft straight into the spaceship's power source. Within moments, the 500 kilometers wide spaceship was destroyed in a single blast. As soon as the mission succeeded, the command center immediately ordered Will and David to return. But then a new problem arose. Their ship was still trapped inside the mothership. Both tried every possible way to get out, but nothing worked. During this, an alien's eyes fell on them. It gave just one command, and the ship's window cover opened on its own. Sensing the danger, Will and David immediately hid. But the aliens weren't foolish either. The very next moment, a search team was sent to look for them. Now, looking at the situation, it seemed almost impossible for the two of them to escape. So they decided that if they had to die, they would take the enemy down with them. So, without delay, they fired a nuclear missile, and it went straight into the alien command center. But before the explosion occurred, the entire mothership started shaking violently. Due to this sudden jolt, the ship's controls went haywire and it broke free from the system's grip. Seeing this, life returned to both of them. However, the relief didn't last long because only 30 seconds remained before the nuclear bomb would explode. In such a situation, Will and David immediately decided to get out of there. Both started fleeing from the mothership at full speed. Luckily, the alien ship's speed was tremendously fast. Behind them, several alien fighters were chasing them. Still, somehow evading their grip, they made it out of the mothership, and then that happened, which the entire world had been waiting for. The very next moment, the massive mothership exploded with a terrifying blast. With that explosion, the aliens' entire control system was destroyed in an instant. As soon as the mothership was destroyed, the remaining alien ships present on Earth also started crashing one by one. Within a few minutes, the world's biggest war ended, and finally, humans had won this seemingly impossible battle. Meanwhile, Will and David too returned safely to Earth. And with this magnificent story of Independence Day comes to an end here. By the way, do let me know in the comments how you like this video, and if you're new to the channel, quickly do all that I want you to do. Okay, bye.